Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushua, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, I Think I Love My Wife. Lord, will you are edified. Video was inspired from the YouTube platform. What is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth? This is the platform of Apostle Tahar. Subscribe and be edified. His video is entitled, I Got Bigger Fishes to Fry. This is turning into a hot mess. And the focal point for my video is when it comes to the union of a man and a woman, or a husband and a wife. Okay, no other man is allowed to provide counseling no matter what's going on, no matter what the state of that marriage is. Okay, that's between those two. All right. Again, that's between those two. They have to figure it out and not guidance from another man. So let's go into Genesis chapter 2. And verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, two individuals that has been taking care of this man since he was an infant. But guess what? He will leave these two important people for what? And shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh, one body, connected through the art of sex. Okay? And within this dynamic or union, your father or mother, and most importantly, another man providing counseling is not included. This is the union. Okay? That man and that woman, husband and wife. Okay? So when they are having issues, they supposed to go to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua. Period. Okay? So let's jump to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, literally. Verse 2, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, possession, and let every woman have her own husband. Verse 3, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. Okay, meaning what? The husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife should fulfill the husband's needs, and that's literal. Okay? You can't get mad at your woman, and vice versa, and withhold sex. Okay? And this is scripture. And likewise also the wife unto the husband. Verse 4, the wife has not power of her own body, but the husband. Going back to what? Genesis 2 and 24. And likewise also the husband has not power of his own body, but the wife. Genesis 2 and 24. Verse 5, defraud you not one the other. From what? Withholding sex, except it be with consent for a time, meaning both parties agree. Now we know through the essence of this, when it comes to the head, okay, the man is in charge. Okay, just putting that out there. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is the Most High. All right, so back into the scripture. That you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer. Now these are the exceptions, and come together again after this process is over, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency, incontinency. So like your incontinency. All right. So with that being said, when a man and a woman are having issues, okay, they supposed to work it out. All right, that man's supposed to lead in prayer, okay, to the Most High and work out their issues. Because when it comes to therapy, right, that term therapy, what does it mean? Therapy goes into curing, healing, okay? To cure, to heal. Now, according to Apostle Paul, right? 1 Corinthians 7:28. And if you marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. Okay, focal point is there shall be trouble in the flesh. Trouble in the flesh. So marital problems will happen or transpire. And 98, 99% of these issues consist of failed/poor communication. Okay? Instead of hearing each other, both parties attempt to what? Win the argument. Okay? Which is a crafty scheme designed by Satan. Right? But within this dynamic, still, that man and his woman, his wife, okay, must figure this shit out. There's no need to run to another man, okay, and receive counsel. How the fuck can you go to Alazar when all of his fucking marriages failed? Okay?
To pay attention to. What I want, let me see. I'm gonna see if I could change this here. Let me see. There we go. I'm gonna remove my banner. Remove my media asset. Hold up. This, because I want y'all to pay attention to the chat here. If I could highlight it, I'll let it highlight so y'all can see here. Right? I want y'all to pay attention to the chat. I'm gonna play it.
Oh, guess what? Can Gorilla's wife get a divorce? So now, when it comes
Somebody
to a divorce,
asked
we
this
would
in
just
the
have to
super
hear the
chat,
whole
right?
matter.
Somebody
Right.
asked.
Can Gorilla's wife or any man?
Check this out. Deuteronomy 24 verse 1. When a man has taken a wife and married her and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes because he has found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and gives it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again and to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. Do you see, okay, how specified or specific these scriptures are? For that is abomination before Yahweh, and you shall not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh, your power, gives you for an inheritance. But the point is, okay, when these couples are having issues, and we all have marital issues, okay, another man is not supposed to lead your woman in counsel. That is going off. And even when you research, okay, when you research scriptures about, let's say, for example, is marriage therapy in the Bible, right? While the Bible doesn't explicitly mention marriage therapy, it does strongly encourage seeking guidance and support for marital challenges, okay? But the point is, there's no scripture that tells us or instructs us to go to another man and receive counsel. This is westernization, okay? Which is part of Esau's template. Marital counseling has nothing to do with the scriptures. Okay, and again, this therapy shit is a form of westernization. Period. And I challenge you to find a scripture where it promotes a woman to go outside of her husband and receive counsel on what to do in their household. You'll never find it. All right. And I want to say I had, you know what? Since that, let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4 and maybe 17. Oh, it's like it. Verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters, such as him and his woman / wife are having issues within their marriage. Okay, and that woman goes around her husband, or her husband goes to this man and asks for counseling. That man doesn't supposed to do it. He's going off. Okay, the husband is going off for asking another man, and the other man is going off for going behind going behind the husband's back if he did do it. All right, and this is 1 Peter 4 and 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Okay, i.e., or example given, a man's marriage. Okay, giving another man's wife counsel. A man counseling a married couple. Okay. Let's continue.
That has a wife, can she call for a divorce? Yes, she can. But depending on the situation, she can get a divorce, but she can't.
Let's get one scripture to prove what Apostle Tahara said. Unbelieving. First Corinthians 7 and 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. Bill of divorce. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High has called us to peace. Okay.
If she's in this truth, no New Testament Israelite, Old and New Testament, she can get married, a divorce, because it's a mess, hot mess. But she can't. She got to remain unmarried. She can get a divorce pursuant to the scriptures, but she can't get another man. Well, that's what she'll be.
1 Corinthians 7 and 11. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife.
Guilty of adultery. Yeah, but the man slapped her in the face, and he did this and he did that. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You slapped me in the face one time too many. I'm tired of it. So I'm out of here. But you can't get no other man. You got to wait for the kingdom. Can't.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, So there are going to be issues where a man hates his wife and vice versa, right? And we do have, you know, we do have protocols such as a bill of divorce and things of that nature. But just like Apostle Tahar is saying, if that woman leaves her husband because of any issue, okay, and she departs from her husband, she's supposed to not deal with any other man, okay, unless she is reconciled to her husband or if her husband dies. All right, and that's scriptural. All right, so let's go to John the fourth chapter, right? And all these niggas talk about Yahushua this, Yahushua that. Let's go to the account where Yahushua was talking to this heathen woman. John 4 and 11. The woman said unto him, Sir, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From where then have you that living water? So Yahushua was saying that, look, I'm the living water. Verse 12, you know. And, you know, if you think about it, Yahweh, in this case, would be the well. Yahushua is the living water inside of the well. Verse 12, are ye greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank therefore of himself and his children and his cattle? Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinks of this water shall thirst again, physical water. Verse 14, but whosoever drinks of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. This truth, right, which is Yahushua. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And that is literal. Verse 15, the woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come here to draw. Yahushua said unto her, Go call your husband and come here. Okay, so he didn't deal with her. Okay, he told her what? Go call your husband. Verse 17, the woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, You have said, Slakia, you have said, Slakia, I'm sorry. You have well said, I have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and he whom you now have is not your husband, and that said you truly. So this woman was a whore. Now, this is a major point. If Yahushua would not teach this woman, okay, the truth, but he told her what? He used her from a spiritual sense as a herald, okay? He used her as a herald because you had Israelites in this area. But the focal point for this lesson is Yahushua did not, let me say it right. Yahushua did not teach her. He told her, go get your husband. So ask yourselves, if Yahushua was on earth, okay, in the flesh, because we know he's in the spirit, he's here now in the spirit, but if he was here walking on earth in the flesh, would he give so-called marriage counseling to married couples? Hell no. And how do we know? We can use this count. So again, when it comes to a man and his woman, husband and a wife, no other man should be giving marital counseling to this couple. And in most cases, okay, in all cases, I'm going to say it like this. In all cases, that man who you are seeking for to receive counseling from, he is in a fucking failing or failed marriages. I think I love my wife. All right? So you can't get around this. You cannot get around this. Slovakia. This is Mark 10 and verse 1. And he arose from there and came into the coast of Judea by the farther side of Jordan, and the people resort unto him again, and as he was wont, he taught them again. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Tempting him. And he answered and said unto them, What did Moses command you? And they said, Moses suffered or allowed to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, For the hardness of your mind he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of the creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, Genesis 2 and 24, and they two shall be one flesh. So then they are no more two, but one flesh. What therefore the Most High has joined together, let no man put asunder, meaning what? Split or to tear in two. And in the house of his disciples asked him again of the same matter. And he said unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another commits adultery against her. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she commits adultery. All right, so adultery is defined as when a woman sleeps, okay, with another man and she's married. As long as the man is married, okay, and all of his women he's dealing with are single, okay, in modern times, then that's not adultery. Adultery is, again, when a married woman or a woman that is seeing somebody, fucking another man, is sleeping with another man. That is the true sense of adultery. But I don't want to just segue into that. The point of this lesson is that when it comes to receiving counseling for marriage couples, that is going off. And therapy goes into what? Cure, right? Therapy means what? Curing, healing, okay? And for this healing, for this curing, we must resort back to the scriptures. Lord will, this was an edifying video. Shalom.